OdeeLoccSportsInfo here, back with another vid for you guys. Yeah, y'all, hit that subscribe, like, bell icon so y'all can be notified of this reel because y'all know OdeeLoc keeps it real. Yeah, you guys, we doing an early one this morning, because I haven't did a live, I think, in a couple days. Probably, yeah, a couple days. I think I did, yeah, a couple days. But yeah, you guys, so you guys see the title. Errol will see sprints isn't going to fight Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And the guy, he just going to keep on making excuses. And if you haven't caught on by now, if y'all haven't caught on by now, all of a sudden, right? He been trying to shit on Terrence Crawford this whole time, right? 60, 40, 70, 30, or whatever we give him, right? I'm the A side. Name somebody who he beat that's better than Chris Algieri, right? All this shit he done said. All this shit he done said in the public, he the one who started bringing up numbers and all that shit in the public. The PBC is the ones who start bringing up all that nonsense in the public. Now, all of a sudden, when the rubber meets the road, right, and it's one more fight, until the pressure is really on your ass. Right? And you don't have no more fucking excuses. Right? Because you've been telling everybody, I want to clean up my side of the street. I want to clean up my side of the street. I want to clean up my side of the street. Okay, if you win this fight with Udanis Ugas, your side of the street is clean. Your side of the street is clean. Now it's time for you to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, all of a sudden, like that, we're going to stop negotiating in public. We're going to keep this behind closed doors. Y'all know why that is? That's because they're going to lowball Terrence Bud Crawford. Or they're not going to even talk to Terrence Bud Crawford. Right? And more than likely, they're going to lowball the hell out of him. So he can't take the fight, so he won't even be interested in the fight. Right? So he won't even be interested in the fight. They're going to offer him a $2 million guarantee, then he gets some upside on pay-per-view. Terrence Bud Crawford going to be like, hell no. Hell no, I don't want no $2 million guarantee. Bro, I was making that at 140. Fuck are you talking about? I just made 6 versus Sean Porter, bro. I want a $10 million guarantee and pay-per-view upside. But they're not going to give him that. That's why all of a sudden, I keep on telling y'all, timing is everything. Timing is everything. Now, all of a sudden, oh, y'all know we're going to keep this out of the public. We're not going to talk about this in the public, right? That was my fault. That was my fault, right? Yeah, see, now he even admitted it. That was my fault, right? Now y'all trying to play this other game because y'all going to keep it out the public, lowball the hell out of this man. He going to walk away from the fight, then y'all going to say he was ducking you. Right? This is how Al Heyman has been doing this shit for years. I don't see how nobody has caught on to his fucking... This shit is repetitive. This shit is like a revolving door. He does it all the time. All of a sudden, timing is... I don't see why people don't get this shit. Timing is everything. All of a sudden, when the rubber meet the road, he has one more fight. His side of the street is cleaned up. All of a sudden, let's keep the negotiations behind closed doors. So we can lowball the fuck out of Terrence Bud Crawford. And then we're going to come out and say he didn't want to take the fight. And then we can move up to 154. I mean, back back up to 154 because that's where he basically started at 154. So we can move back to the weight class that we started from. Right? That's why everybody was calling Errol Spence the weight bully Spence, because he came from 154 down to 147 trying to bully, the littler fighters. Right now, he had his chance until he got cracked by Larte. Yes. Go back and look at the fight when Larte cracked his ass and his ass was in survival mode for a round and a half. Go and watch that. So people got to catch on. Right? Now let's play something from Errol Spence, the Sprinty Man, right? The Texas Road Runner, because that's what I call him, the Texas Road Runner. Okay, now let's go back to 4 minute. I think it was 4 minute 12 second. Let's play this. Listen.
I'm so excited for this fight to be able to show people what I'm worth, and I can promise you, I'm gonna be ready on April 16th to show you what I'm worth.
With all respect to Pacquiao, I feel like I'm a way different fighter than Pacquiao. I feel like at this point right now, I'm a better fighter than Pacquiao. I mean, I keep bringing up Pacquiao, but that's like, Larry Holmes fighting Ali, or Terry Norris beating up Sugar Ray Leonard, or Madonna beating up Eric Morales. Like, Pacquiao's way past his prime.
Could you see yourself?
Okay, now let's stop it there. See, didn't y'all hear that? This man wanted Pacquiao. If it wasn't for his eye, he would have took on Pacquiao. But since Eudenis Ugas beat up Pacquiao, now he's trying to discredit Eudenis Ugas. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. Now he trying to discredit Eudenis Ugas when he wanted the same fucking fight, right? Terrence Crawford wanted the fight too. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. wanted to fight with Manny Pacquiao. Eudenis Ugas get to fight with Manny Pacquiao. He beats up Manny Pacquiao. Now Errol Spence Jr. trying to come out and discredit it. When you wanted the same fucking fight. This is just how petty this dude is. This is just how petty he is. Instead of saying a great win for Eudenis Ugas. A great win for Eudenis Ugas. Right? But I'm not Pacquiao. That's all he had to say. But no, he went into Larry Holmes versus Muhammad Ali. Tommy Norris versus Mac. It's like, what? What? Why you have to say all that, bro? Right? You want to shit on his win. But now let's go back. Right, man? Look, because I'm about to go to the 7-minute mark when they say that he running the division. But I'm trying to figure out Terrence Bud Crawford is the #1 welterweight.
Yeah, I'm the big fish, especially at 147. So, no, I said so that wouldn't matter. I've been a shot caller, so nah.
That's a fake.
So that wouldn't matter. I've been a shot caller. Like I said, I'm the big fish, especially at 147. So
you went from the boogeyman to
no,
the big
that
fish.
doesn't matter at all.
Woo, how it changes.
200%. Whoever wins this fight is going to be the king of this division, and the one that calls the shots from now on.
No, pienso que estoy esperando el mejor
not even getting more
Spain.
money. How could y'all be the kings? Like, what I'm trying to understand, how could you be the king of the division and y'all guarantees ain't higher than Terrence Bud Crawford? Terrence Bud Crawford is the #1 welterweight in the division. Fuck the pay-per-view numbers. He's the #1 fighter in the division. He's the man. Right? And it's funny how this dude, he went from the boogeyman. Right? It's funny how Errol Spence went from the boogeyman to the big fish. Right? Soon as Terrence Crawford caught his ass at the Maurice Hooker fight and said, you can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing you. Exactly. How the fuck you gonna be Jason and you got, you got somebody chasing you? Come on, man. How you gonna be Freddy Krueger and somebody in your nightmares? This guy is like, come on, man. He lies and bullshit all the time. This is the reason why I stopped fucking with Wilder. Right? Because Wilder was full of shit. He was delusional. Errol Spence Jr. is getting on that, he's on that level of delusion. He started believing the hype. These guys, they actually believe these boxing fans when they say they the shit, the monster, the big one. It's like, bro, you are not that. You are not that. So you discredit Eubanks Ugas, right? Even though you wanted to fight with Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford wanted to fight with Pacquiao. Both of y'all wanted to fight. Terrence Crawford even held out as long as he could from fighting Kell Brook to try to get the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Then when you got the fight with Manny Pacquiao, what did you tweet out? You tweeted out and you said, blame Bob. So you wanted to fight. And since Eubanks Ugas get the fight, he beat up Manny Pacquiao. Now he's it's like, come on, man. Now it's discredit Eubanks Ugas. But with all this said, you guys, with all this said, right, because I'm trying to defend Eubanks Ugas. With all this said, Eubanks Ugas is going to lose the fight. Right? Eubanks Ugas is going to lose the fight. All Errol Spence Jr. have to do is survive 12 rounds. Survive 12 rounds. And any close rounds in the fight, they're going to Errol Spence Jr. Any close rounds in the fight, remember OdeeLoccSportsInfo telling you this, any close rounds in the fight is going to Errol Spence Jr. or Errol will see Spence Jr. or the Texas Roadrunner, whatever one you want to call him, the Cowardly Lion, right? The Tin Man, Dorothy, fuck it, Toto, whatever you want to call him. He's not going to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. And all he have to do against Eubanks Ugas is survive 12 rounds. Y'all think it's a joke? Like, people be thinking that this shit is a joke, that it's a game. Man, boxing is crooked. Let me just say this. Every sport in America is crooked. If it's gambling involved, if you can legally gamble on a game, that means that shit is being fixed certain ways so certain people can get paid. Don't y'all understand that? It's not hard to understand. Basketball crooked, football crooked, baseball crooked, soccer crooked, fucking volleyball crooked. Every sport in America that has gambling involved in it is crooked. And certain people can determine the outcome. It's not that hard to understand. So, with that said, Eubanks Ugas is going to lose the fight. Who have a more upside? Y'all have to think about that. Who has a more upside of winning the fight? Eubanks Ugas or Errol Spence Jr.? Ding! Errol Spence Jr. because he has what? Ding! Texas. because he has Texas. And that's like the biggest state in America. Shit, like Texas is bigger than some countries, a lot of countries. Because he have Texas. So people got to understand, and Al Heyman is all about what? Money. So I just don't know why people can't understand this. Oh, yeah, like Eubanks Ugas, he can put up the best fight he want to put up, but he has to knock Errol Spence Jr. ass out to win the fight, period. He has to knock him down at least multiple times to win the fight, period. If Eubanks Ugas doesn't go in there, knock down Errol Spence Jr. 2 times or more, he's losing the fight. If Eubanks Ugas doesn't go in there and cold cock and sleep Errol Spence Jr., he's losing the fight. All the close rounds in the fight is going to Errol Spence Jr. The writing is on the wall. I don't know why people keep on thinking that that they gonna let these Cuban fighters, get so, man, they only gonna let them get so far. They are only gonna let them get so far. It's something against the Cuban fighter in boxing. And this goes for Gamboa, to Laura, to Rigo. I mean, come on, man. You seen how they just rammed it into Rigo with no Vaseline. Rigo, Louis King Kong Ortiz, Eubanks Ugas, and they got a couple of more Cuban dudes that's up in there that's getting fucked over. But people, they actually think Eubanks Ugas is going to win. Yes, I want Eubanks Ugas to win, right? If it was going to be judged fairly, if it was if it was fair, shit, Eubanks Ugas, he probably could win the fight, right? Right, with a fair scorecard and fair judges and all that. But Eubanks Ugas is not going to win the fight because he doesn't have a better upside than Errol Spence Jr. Shit, like, what's up, 913? No, he doesn't have a better upside than Errol Spence Jr. Errol has Dallas. He has Texas. And after this fight, they're going to go behind the scenes, right? This is why all of a sudden he's coming out like, yeah, like, oh no, we need to keep it behind the scenes, like we need to do, even though you the one who started talking about all this money shit in the public. Even though you the one who started talking about all this shit, yeah, like we're gonna give him 60, 40, 70, 30, or whatever, or whatever we gonna give him. Right? You start talking all this shit in the public. Now, all of a sudden, when the rubber hit the road, one more fight left, your side of the street is clear. Now you're trying to keep it behind the scenes. Oh, because you know that the PBC is gonna lowball the fuck out of Terrence Bud Crawford. He's not gonna take the fight, and then your ass gonna move on and go up to 154. Right? This is what's gonna happen. Are you gonna move on and you're gonna fight Stationis? Are you gonna move on and you're gonna fight somebody else? Right? Man, because you probably take on your mandatory. If it be Stationis, I'm pretty sure that you would take on that mandatory. Even though you owe a IBF mandatory before you owe a WBA. Right? Shit, you haven't fulfilled an IBF mandatory, what, 3-4 years? Then people, they coming online. Yeah, like the IBF is the most strictest. No, they not. They let this motherfucker get away with shit with 3-4 years of not giving him a mandatory. Fuck are y'all talking about? This dude should have been stripped after he got in that car accident. That's not the that's not the IBF fault that he was out drinking and driving. That's not That's not the mandatory fault that he was out doing this shit. That was his fault. So he should have been stripped. Period, point blank. He could have held on to the WBC because he had just picked that up. But that IBF bill, he owed it a mandatory, and they let his ass keep it. Did they let Keith Thurman keep the WBC? No, they didn't. They made his ass vacate. So why is Errol Spence Jr. so special? Because, come on, man, because he's in Al Haymon good favor right now. He's in Al Haymon good graces right now because he has Texas. And that brings in revenue for Al Haymon. This is what it's all about. So, so for the people who thinking that Udanis Ugas, he's going to go up in there, right? He's going to do this, he's going to do that. He got to knock Errol Spence Jr. ass out. And if he doesn't do that, he's losing. So if you betting your money, you better bet on Errol Spence Jr. Period. You better bet your money on Errol Spence Jr. Unless Udanis Ugas, he could keep on countering him. You feel what I'm saying? And should he make him go into a shell, which I doubt. Right? Like, which I doubt, because Udanis Ugas, he wait too long. He waits for you to throw punches at him so he can counter punch you. He waits. And waiting against Spence is not going to be a good thing because Spence is a pretty active fighter. Right? And just by throwing punches, he going to get points. It doesn't mean that the punches are landing. Right? It doesn't mean that the punches are effective. He's just going to get points. Y'all better go back and look at the Sean Porter fight. When Sean Porter was landing punches, they wasn't even counting shit. They wasn't even counting a lot of Sean Porter body shots. See, I analyze this shit, man, and I see what's going on. The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. All Errol Spence Jr. have to do is survive 12 rounds, and he's going to get, a 7-5, an 8-4 decision, even though the fight is going to be way closer than that. Probably. I'm not saying that because Errol Spence, he could just go up in there and dominate him, right? He could just go up in there and dominate him. And Udanis Ugas could do the same thing. But as far as I'm seeing it, really, it's shit. All Errol Spence got to do is survive 12 rounds and he win the fight. Period. They're not going to give him a draw. Oh, I mean, well, shit, you never know. That's a good thing to think about, a draw. Right? Because they can always run it back then. They can always run it back and they can push off the mandatories even further if they get a draw. Well, to be real, you have Porter winning. Yeah, I'm against Errol. 9-1-3 against Errol. Yeah, man, I had him winning the fight too. I still had him winning the fight. Even though he got knocked down in the 11th round, I still had him winning the fight. But, man, now you feel what I'm saying? Like against Udanis Ugas versus Porter, though, I had Udanis Ugas winning that fight, though, bro. Udanis Ugas clearly knocked down the man. Right? He clearly knocked him down because what did Sean Porter do when he got back up? He rubbed his hands and then he tried to jump. Tried to get his legs back. Jumping, getting his legs back. Right? He trying to get his legs back. But when he got knocked down versus Spence, like, what did he do? He popped right back up like a Jackson in a box and said, come on, let's go. Facts. When he got knocked down by Terrence Bud Crawford, he was on the fucking ground shaking. Couldn't even move for a second. That's why he started pounding the ground. He was froze. Right? Like his body wanted to get up. His mind was saying get up, but his body didn't move. Man, his body was paralyzed, but his mind was saying move, bro, move. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly, man. Like it should have been a draw at best, bro. A draw at best. This man was making Errol spin like a top. Sean Porter, the football player. The guy who can't sell out a backyard barbecue was making Errol Spence look like a spinning top. The guy who just comes in with his head. The guy who smothers all his punches on the inside was making Errol Spence Jr. look basic. Come on, bro. Man, he was making this man fall off balance, you know, because he was trying to turn with him and all that shit. He falling off balance, trying to throw punches, and you feel what I'm saying? Like he getting clipped, you know, he getting clipped in exchanges and all that. It's like, bro, he made the man look horrible. That's why after the fight, what did everybody say? Oh, Sean Porter, he got to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. Huh? He just lost. So coming off a loss, y'all want to put him in the ring against Terrence Bud Crawford like he's going to do something. Then y'all seen what happened. Terrence Bud Crawford, he just coasting with this man. He could have ended Sean Porter early, and that's a fact. Red Glove Militant, shout out, bro. Man, but as soon as he get the call, Dre got you down. She like, Shakur, Dre got you down. What? How? I don't know, man. He got you down. Okay. Terminator button pushed. Beep. It's time to end you, Sean. Shout out to Iron King. Peace, brother. I mean, Iron Kong 26. Shout out to you, brother. Right? Soon as he get the call, as soon as he, I mean, just imagine that, y'all. As soon as this man hear that he down, and he like, what? How? I don't know. Okay, Terminator button push. Beep. Sean, I'm sorry, bruh, but I got to end you. I love you. You my friend, but I got to end you, bro. Right? I got to end you, man. I can't coach with you no more, man, because, you know, because I don't know if I'm going to win this fight or not. And I can't be, you know, I can't be fucking around playing these games. So I got to end you. Terminator button push. Get your ass out of here. Oh, no, Kitty. No. Get my son out of this motherfucker. This dude. I don't want my son to be retarded in the morning. Hey, white towel through. Get him out of there, Sean. Check this out, Sean. Sean, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut up. I'm saving you from yourself, nigga. I'm saving you from yourself. Yeah, man, because I know you was going to go out. You was going to go in there and be Mr. Super Tough Guy with Terrence Bud Crawford. And he was going to end your ass in brutal fashion, bro. It was going to be a brutal ass knockout, bro. Y'all didn't see that shit coming? It was going to be brutal. If you think about it, it ain't never been a real separation from the pack from those PBC guys. Thurman, Porter, Spence, Garcia has all been close fights. Exactly. Like they all in the same boat. Just think about it. When they leave, when they get outside the PBC, they lose. Right? When they fight fighters that's not on a PBC brand, they lose. They lose. So how good is the PBC fighters? They not that good because they playing this round robin in the inside and they not taking on good competition. They taking on the same guys over and over and over and over. That doesn't make you better, right? That keeps you stagnated. That keeps you at a certain point in your boxing career. Oh, okay. Man. Shit, I'm about to just fight Keith Thurman again. Well, shit, I already fought him, like 3 years ago. So I just, I'm just going to do the same. It's like, bro, like, that doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you better. But for the people who thinking that Terrence Bud Crawford is going to get Errol Spence Jr. or any fighter at the PBC, y'all are highly mistaken. Y'all are highly mistaken. He has to go over there and literally sign a deal like Manny Pacquiao. And then he got to hope and pray that he still get the fights, right? He got to hope and pray that he still get the fights. And people got to realize this. If he signs a 3-fight deal, they can stretch out that 3-fight deal 5 years, 6 years. They can have his ass fighting every 2 years. They can make him have a fight every year. He can have 1 fight a year for 3 years. So now he having 3 fights in 3 years. Right? Waiting around for the PBC. Then by that time, what age would he be? 37, 38? Huh? Now it's time to feed him to the younger, to the younger PBC fighters so they can get a name off of beating Terrence Bud Crawford. That's exactly what they did to Pacquiao. That's exactly what they did to Pacquiao, right? But Pacquiao shocked their ass when he beat the fuck out of Keith Thurman. He shocked him. He shocked him because Al Heyman was praying and hoping that Keith Thurman was going to win that fight. Right? Because that would have boosted Keith Thurman status up a lot more. He would have went up a lot more if he would have beat him. But he came in there too cocky. Shit, like Adrian Broner's stock would have went up if he would have beat him, but he lost too. Right? Come on, man. Y'all got to think about all the people that they fed Pacquiao to. Right? Then they was about to feed him to Spence, and they just wondered. They was like, no, we can't feed him to Spence. Right? Man. Well, because we got to try to milk this shit out. We got to try to milk it out. So, Spence, you got an eye injury. You got an eye injury, bro. Eudanis Ugas, we trying to build up your profile. So you gonna fight Pacquiao. Right? So you gonna fight Pacquiao, and we got a good, we got a good thing that we gonna do. Watch, bro, man. We gonna wait till 2 weeks before the fight. Wait 2 weeks before the fight, and then we gonna replace you, Errol, with Eudanis Ugas. And that way, it doesn't give him enough time to train for an orthodox fighter, an orthodox counterpuncher. Right? That doesn't give Pacquiao enough time. So what happened? Y'all don't think they be talking like that? Y'all don't think they be behind the scenes saying shit like that? Especially when Floyd got a grudge against Manny Pacquiao. You didn't think he had no word in setting up Pacquiao? People got come on, man. Of course he did. Of course he did. They was trying to build up Eudanis Ugas, right? Because when everybody was saying the Eudanis Ugas and Errol Spence Jr. fight the first time, right? Everybody was really trashing that shit. Like, what? Like, Eudanis Ugas don't even got no real belt. Right? Eudanis Ugas, he don't even got no real belt. Why the fuck is y'all? Woo. Man, and then they came up with the Manny Pacquiao situation. Right? Then they like, okay, Errol, we can't put Errol in there right now. Right? Because if he beats Pacquiao right now, his head is going to be on a platter for Terrence Bud Crawford. Immediately, Terrence Bud Crawford going to want that fight. And, the fans are going to put super pressure on Errol Spence Jr. if he does not take that fight with Terrence Bud Crawford after he beats, Pacquiao, right? Because Pacquiao was the super champion. And Pacquiao would have had Pacquiao had the WBA belt. And if he would have beat Pacquiao last August, think about this. If he would have beat Pacquiao last August, September, October, November, December, he could have fought Terrence Bud Crawford in December. He could have fought Terrence Bud Crawford in December of 2021. Right? Right, because the fight was scheduled for August. So if he would have beat Pacquiao in August, he would have already had 3 belts. in August. So we count 4 months, right? Like we just don't give it 4 months. September, October, November, December. He could have fought Terrence Bud Crawford in December of 2021. No, they didn't want that though. No, they don't want that. Right? Because Terrence Bud Crawford contract wasn't really up until October of 2021. Y'all got to see this shit. It's like, come on, his contract wasn't up until October of 2021. So they wasn't going to get in no fight with Terrence Bud Crawford. So they pushed it back and they figured out, okay, we got to make Eudenis Ugas a star. Right? We got to make Eudenis Ugas bigger so we can try to sell this fight with him in Spence, and that will push off Terrence Bud Crawford even further. Right? It's just gonna it's just a waiting game. They trying to wait to Terrence Crawford. Like I've been saying this from the jump too. They trying to wait to Terrence Crawford get 36, 37. They want to age out this man till he get really, until they see some slippage, then they will put somebody in the ring with him. The same thing they did with Louis King Kong Ortiz. Right? Because Ortiz could have fought Wilder in 2016, 2017, 2018. Right? But they waited Ortiz out. They waited till they seen some slippage. Then they made the fight. You are forgetting that Crawford Porter in November, fam. Yes, he was mandated. Yes, he was mandated to fight Porter. Yes, he was mandated to fight Porter. But they could have still set up the fight. Right? Shit, I'm hearing that Eudenis Ugas and Errol Spence Jr., they had a contract already, set up. Ready to go. So why they can't do that with Terrence Bud Crawford? No, they can't do that. This is all about money, keeping the shit inside. Eudenis Ugas is gonna lose this fight. So I don't even know why people, I don't even know why y'all trying to pump it up. He gonna lose the fight. He's a Cuban fighter. They're gonna use his name, get that belt. They're gonna lowball Terrence Bud Crawford. Crawford ain't gonna take the fight, and then they just gonna move on. And the Errol Spence fanboys are going to make excuses like they always do. They're not going to hold him accountable to nothing. He never gets held accountable. The writing is on the wall. What's going to happen? Eudenis Ugas has to knock him out. Any close rounds is going to Spence. All the close rounds going to Errol Spence Jr. That's a fact. It's a fact. Right? All the close rounds going to Errol Spence. So it's only one thing that Eudenis Ugas can do is knock him out. I get your point, and you're right. They could have set up the fight. The PBC is not in the Terrence Crawford's business. Spence is fighting Thurman next. Exactly, bro. Shout out to you, New Media, today too. Yeah, man. Should I be checking out your channel too, bro? Man, but keep up the good work, brother. Keep up the good work, man. Exposing this stuff, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, but man, exactly. Like they are already, they already putting the Keith Thurman, stuff in the mix. We already know that's gonna happen, man. And it's like, didn't Errol Spence Jr. say he will never fight Keith Thurman? Didn't this come out of his mouth? So if he fights Keith Thurman next, he's lying. He lied again. He lied once again, and none of his fans are gonna, hold his ass accountable. Oh no, man, no, he did that, man. Because Terrence Bud Crawford, he didn't want to. No, Terrence Bud Crawford is not gonna take no $2 million guarantee, and then hope and pray that the pay-per-view do good. No, he's not taking that. And why should he? And if he go and sign with the PBC, that would be the dumbest shit he can ever do. I'm just saying it straight out. If he signs to the PBC, they gonna fuck him over. Just like they did Manny Pacquiao. Right? Because which state is bigger? Nebraska or Texas? No, we already know which one bigger. Which one brings in more money, Texas or Nebraska? Yeah, like we already know which one. So, I mean, shit, the writing is on the wall to me, man. He's not fighting the man next. He's gonna, it's gonna be, why? Because timing is everything. All of a sudden, oh man, keep it behind closed doors. Oh, shh, don't say nothing about nothing when you the one who started all this nonsense. You and your fanboys talking about 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20, or whatever we gonna give him. Huh? And he's more accomplished than you. And he has more accolades than you. And you talking like you some shit? Oh man, but name somebody that's better than Chris Algieri. What? You know his ass was drunk. You know he was drunk when he said some shit like that. Name somebody that's better than Chris Algieri. What? Man, and then you wanted some props for fighting old ass Leonard Bundu. It's like, bro, what? like stop, bro. Stop. But this is the boxing era that we living in, now, guys. It got all these, like they don't really want to see these fights. That's what it is. They don't really want to see the fights. They just want to fanboy for their favorite fighter as long as possible. Steve Smith, who was with me at the communication, PB said that PBC podcast that they never made a Crawford offer, that they don't even know how much money Crawford want. Yeah, I seen that Tim Smith thing too, bro. I seen it too. But they know what Crawford want. They know around the money that he want, bro. And they know damn well he is not going to take no $2.5 million guarantee. They know he's not going to take no 1 million guarantee. No 1.5. No, I mean, shit, he even ain't, he probably even ain't going to take 3. Right? This man is used to getting paid $4 million guaranteed. Why he's going to go? He's not going to go backwards, and they know that. They know he's not going backwards. He only going forward. They wanted him to take on his, his so-called hardest challenge in Porter. What? He destroyed Porter, got the word, boot, put on the Terminator button, knocked his ass out. Get up out of here, man. I was trying to coast with you, buddy. But, hey, man, I can't trust that. I can't trust the scorecards. I cannot trust the scorecards, Porter, so I can't coast with you no more. I'm about to stop you, bro. I'm sorry, but this is how it got to be. Right? This is how it got to be. Then his daddy seen the look in Terrence Crawford eyes, and he like, Sean, get your ass out of there. Yeah, Sean, I'm saving you from yourself. Oh, yeah, man. Why? Because Sean, he would have stayed in there, and you feel what I'm saying? He would have stayed in there. Sean is just that warrior. Sean would have stayed in there and got destroyed. You know it, bro. Sean would have stayed in that motherfucker and got destroyed, man. Just to try to prove a point. But his daddy like, nigga, I need you to eat with me, bro. I can't be feeding you through no tube. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you just had a kid. Your wife at the house? Hell no, bro. Check this shit out. Hey, towel in. Man, like my son, but what did he say? Oh no, my son, he lived right across the street from me. Exactly. That should let you know everything right there. I want to see my son in the morning. We need to go and spend this check. Right, man? Look, because he owed me my percentage. Shit, and I want mine knowing Kenny. Shit, he like, shit, I want mine. And I can't be, you feel what I'm saying? Like, we not spending none of this money on doctor bills, nigga. We not spending none of this money on doctor bills, bro. We about to get up out of here. Fuck what the fans say. We about to get up out of here, man, because I seen you on the ground. You wanted to get up, but your body didn't let you get up. You wanted to get up bad. Sean wanted to get up bad, but he couldn't. His mind was saying something. His body was saying something else. Sean was running into punches with his head down. He wouldn't. Exactly, bro, man. No, he wouldn't have made it out of that round, man. Look, man, and Kenny, like, bro, I have to save my son from himself because he got this tough guy complex. You feel what I'm saying? Sean want to please the fan. Sean is a fan pleaser. Sean like to please the fans, right? Sean like to please the fans. Sean, he want to put on an exciting fight and all that. But his daddy, at that point, he like, bro, man, when this dude was 16 years old, he called me in the alley. I was a grown-ass man. This dude called me in the alley at 16 years old, and I seen the look in his eye. He was serious. This little young motherfucker who I'm teaching how to box. I'm teaching him how to box, but he's so wired up. He just loves to fight. He like, oh, man, I'll take your ass off. And Kenny flashback to all of that, bro. In the split second, Kenny like, get my son out of here. Towel in, Sean turned around, mad as a motherfucker. Kenny like, come your ass, come here, nigga. Come here. Come your ass here, bro. You better, hey, bro, check this shit out. Man, woo, woo. And then Sean, he was mad at Crawford, because they probably sat on the phone and probably said, like, yeah, man, like we gonna coast, like they probably had some type of agreement or something like that. I'm gonna win the fight, but you feel what I'm saying? I'm not gonna beat you up so bad. But man, it just got to the point, Sean rushing in, head down, he just getting caught with uppercut after uppercut, uppercut after uppercut. It's like, get him out of there, man. Save this man from himself so he can be on the podcast the next day and interview Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And interview Terrence Bud Crawford. He interviewed the man next day or something like that, right? So, yeah, y'all. But Keith Thurman is up next. And what people got to understand, too, is that Stationis is signed with the PBC. Him and the other guy, Butev, whatever they name are, they signed to the PBC, too. So all that is inside. All that is inside, right? All that is inside. Isaac Cruz, Gamboa, he signed to the PBC. And you see how they just using the fuck out of Gamboa now. They using the hell out of Gamboa, man. But I thought the Gamboa wasn't nothing. I thought Gamboa was washed, shit. Like, this is what they said when Crawford beat him. This is what it's like. What? Just like Kell Brook, when he just beat Amir Khan. But when Terrence Bud Crawford beat him, he washed. Right? He was washed up. But now I'm hearing they about to fight Conor Benn. So when Crawford beat these dudes, they washed. It's like, come on, y'all. Man, like, this shit got to stop, man. And this shit got to stop. But yeah, you guys, man, I'm getting phone calls. So let me get my black butt up off of here. And I got to make some moves this morning. Man, I appreciate all you guys coming through, man. I appreciate it, man. Salute to all y'all, man. Especially Coach Malachi, man, because I be checking out your channel, brother. I do be checking out your channel. Man, so subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment. This OdeeLoccSportsInfo. I'm gone, you guys.